Hi, it's Lynette MacLeod for the last minute. I'm here at the Parade Square in downtown Halifax. It's quiet now, but earlier on Remembrance Day at 11 o'clock, this place was full of people honoring Canada's veterans. Adrian Lee has more.
Hold this. We came out to remember our soldiers. Say that one.
We came out to remember our soldiers.
Oh, I think it's very important for this generation, and every generation. But if you don't bring out these kind of events, they don't really appreciate, the sacrifices that have been made. And the schools do a great effort to teach them. But I think being out here and seeing it, and it is really important.
It makes me sad.
Why does it make you sad?
Because they worked hard to protect our village.
I think it's a good opportunity to come out and, pay your respects and participate in Remembrance Day, but as well take part in a very long tradition. So it's great to play bagpipes.
Just to remember the good friends that passed on and being a good Canadian and supporting all the ex-servicemen. That's what they did for us. Well, I'll say I'm proud to be a Canadian and always will be.
D&D branch.
Relatives. My grandfather, St. Clair Ross, he was in the war, and I had an uncle, Dick Noyles, Richard Noyles, from Spring Hill. He went over at 17 years old in 1939 and didn't come back till 1945. So, it was, I thank Uncle Dick and my grandfather during this day.
Also on Remembrance Day, people of North Preston had their annual ceremony, and this was a special one. A few years ago, Arnold Johnson Sr. and his two sons talked about organizing a Remembrance Day ceremony in their own community of North Preston. His son Alistair carries on his legacy today.
He died in August 2008, and so even though he was part of the planning, he didn't get to see it, to participate in it. But if he were here today, he'd be proud to see that now we have a lasting memorial to himself and all of his fellow comrades that took up arms and went to war.
They also wanted to see the community get its own cenotaph. President and members of a local women's group made that happen this year.
When we look at that cenotaph, it's a dream. It's a dream came true.
And there's three communities, or four communities combined. East Preston, Cherrybrook, Lake Loon, and North Preston.
It's a dream of his, but it's a dream that others have adopted. I can't say that it is a legacy of my father, and if he was here today, he would not permit me to say that.
When World War I began, Black Canadians were turned away from recruiting stations, but they were determined to serve.
It is a great accomplishment, and what we have to do, embrace that and keep going, not look back. And not just, for blacks or whatever. Yes, we've had hard times, but we have to, look towards that and move on.
Lynette MacLeod, The Fax. Science reporting can be a tough beat for journalists, but there's a group trying to help. Marie David has more.
Central Canada
Most journalists are not trained properly to report science or health stories. Jay Ingram says how that affects the reporting.
I think it's easily arguable that then the quality of information that's disseminated is not as good. It's more general, it's bland, the essence of the story may not be picked up. And
the panel, formed by the Science Media Centre of Canada, came together to talk about solutions for reporting science. Dr. David Secco believes the community needs to come together.
I think if anywhere we're failing is the fact that we're not together as a community, not together as a community of science journalists, to ask the question of what we should be doing better and what we believe we're doing well. So it's as simple as that kind of conversation that I would love to see kind of happen.
Health reporter Pauline Dakin says journalists need to be aware that they have a major impact on the public.
But I guess the bottom line is we have the power to actually cause harm if we don't get it right. So it is a big responsibility, and it matters how we report.
They also discussed the importance of research, which is where the Science Media Center will help reporters.
You know, research is key to good science journalism, because if you can make every sentence a well-informed sentence, then you've done a good piece.
The CCSM hopes to help journalists reach experts and get important research needed to cover science stories. For the Facts, I'm Marie David.
And that's all for this week's Last Minute. Thanks for checking us out online. I'm Lynette MacLeod for The Facts.